entered in. I trust that I'm safe and secure at the moment, but there's chaos all around, especially outside, especially on the steps, especially around the Capitol building, inside the Capitol. It's incredible, unbelievable.
I mean, did you ever imagine in the last few weeks that it would come to this?
I did, because I think it's been leading up to this for the last 5 years. And this is sort of a culmination. Some of us have been, projecting this could happen. Some of us have talked about the incendiary voices we've been hearing, especially coming from the top leadership in the country. And this is the result. It's so unbelievable. You just wouldn't think that this was the United States of America, but it is. And somehow or another, sane, sensible, rational minds have to prevail, and we have to get ourselves back on track. I understand, I've heard that the request for the National Guard has been denied. I mean, I just cannot imagine that. It's hard to believe that the progress this country has made over the last several hundred years is attempting to be stopped. And there are people seriously trying to take us back, and it is so unfortunate.
So, Congressman, if you can, tell me what you saw. Were you in the chamber when everything started?
No, actually, the only people in the chamber were those whose states were being challenged. I am so fortunate that I live in the state of Illinois, a state of a high level of sanity, where people act in civilized ways. And so, no, Illinois was not being challenged. Therefore, I was not on the floor. I was not in the House.
So have you seen some of the images that have come out from inside of the House chamber? I saw an image just before you joined me here of two security officers actually with weapons drawn, pointed, and like some sort of it looked like a bookshelf actually barricading the front door. Having spent so much time obviously in that room, what is that juxtaposition like?
Well, the whole thing is like watching television or watching theater, watching something that was manufactured and created, as opposed to watching the reality of what we're actually seeing. I think there are law enforcement people who aren't sure of what to do. There are protesters who, are being driven and urged on. When a president stands up and say, I will never concede, I will never accept the will of the people, a majority of the people, a clear majority of the people, even under the rules that we have adopted as a nation to sort these things out. And then people who would deny legitimate decision makers to try and come to a conclusion. It's a sad day for America. It's a sad day for democracy, but we can't give in, we can't cave in, we can't give up. we have to keep pursuing a just democracy and a way of living, a form of government, a way of making decisions where everybody counts, everybody's vote is valid, everybody has a right to determine what they believe, but to do it in an orderly, peaceful, legalized way.
What do you need to hear? What do you think we need to hear from the president? I know that certain members of the Republican Party have gone out on Twitter. I know I saw Marco Rubio call it un-American just a few moments ago, but the president has remained silent. What does he need to say at this point?
I think the president need to come out and say, we've made our point, whatever that point is we were attempting to make. We've said we disagree, and now let's settle down and let's sort this out and move ahead with dignity, with sincerity, and with a desire to bring a resolve in a peaceful way to some disagreements that have occurred. That is what I'd like to see the president do. That's what I'd like to hear the president say, and I'm hoping that will happen soon, right now. Don't wait, but right now.
Do you think it's likely the president will reverse course and do that, or do you think he's gonna remain silent and keep going down this path?
Well, I don't see the president out with the group. And therefore, the president is doing what so often the president has refused to do, and that is to lead with a sense of dignity and a sense of integrity. I understand I'm looking at something that says that a person has been shot inside the Capitol. This is getting worse and worse as the time goes on, and it's got to stop.
Yeah. Well, Congressman, I appreciate you taking the time here. I think if we can, I know everything today is obviously extremely in flux, but if we can check back with you here maybe in a couple hours and see how things are doing, I think we'd love to do that. Is there anything that you think, given the opportunity right now to talk to people on this very crazy day, that you'd like to say?
Well, I think people are hoping that we will come to some sensible conclusion. I was quite frankly all set to go and take the second part of my vaccine. I can't take it because it was scheduled for 3 o'clock. And so I think there are a lot of things that have had to be put on hold, but I still have faith. I have faith that America will come to its senses and will make some conclusions that will lead us on to the victory of freedom, equality, equal justice, and equal opportunity for all.
Picked a heck of a day for that COVID shot, I tell you what. And I think we all need some of that hope. So thank you for taking the time, Congressman. Hopefully we can check in later today and see how things are going.
Thank you. I've got a feeling I'll be right here.
Something tells me you might be there for a little bit. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
We got channels.